this might be the best 27-inch gaming monitor that I have yet seen. It's a 1440p monitor from Pixio. This is the new PX277. New because what? Oh, it's got fancy bezel. Well, let's just go through the specs first, and then I'll get to the point of this whole video, why it's so freaking special. So first off, the specs. Now this is an AHVA panel. A lot of the gaming monitors out there, they use a TN panel. So you have to sacrifice the really good color. TN panels look very washed out, but they have really fast response times. Now, you really don't need a response time better than 10 milliseconds. And this one has a 6 millisecond response time. Once you get over 10 milliseconds, 10 to 12 to 15, 16, somewhere in that range, you're gonna start to notice some ghosting, meaning that as the image moves or as the character runs across the screen, you'll see like a little ghost behind them of where they used to be. For this one, you get none of that. So there's really not much of an argument to go with this over something that's 2 milliseconds whatsoever. It's 2560 by 1440. And since this is a 27-inch panel, this is my favorite pixel density. I really like the way 27 inches looks with 1440p. The same pixel density is 4K at 40 inches. Here's the big deal. Refresh rate, 144 Hertz. And you also have FreeSync on this monitor. The FreeSync implementation starts at 30 and goes all the way to 144 Hertz. One of the best FreeSync implementations I've seen. So what that means is if you're using graphics card that's compatible with FreeSync, most of the AMDs and that sort of thing, it'll do an adaptive refresh rate. So it'll match up with the FPS you're getting in the game, and you don't have to worry about any screen tearing or any like stuttering or anything like that. It's just a really silky smooth experience, and that makes games, especially games that are laggy or games that, you know, sometimes they're running at 60 FPS and then when you get into a firefight they drop down to like 40 FPS. Those games can feel a little clunky when you're playing, you know, with a monitor and a setup that don't have G-Sync or FreeSync. But since this one has the FreeSync, it's gonna feel much smoother all the way through. Now the bezel on this, guys, there's basically no bezel on this thing. That's one of the big things with the new version. No bezel. The electronics are all housed in a small section across the back here. We've got 2 HDMI, DisplayPort, and then we got like an audio pass-through here. We've got some speakers on here too that sound okay for you know, speakers. You're not going to use them. You're not going to use them. On why I'm not even going to mention them. You're not even going to use them, but they sound okay. But get this, there's a VESA mount on the back here. Now the VESA mount is located all the way down toward the bottom of the unit. So that means if you're going to mount these and you've got a bunch of them, you're going to mount them, I don't know, like monitor arms and that sort of thing. Just note that they're not going to match up with other 27-inch monitors that have a VESA mount in the middle. If you guys want to get 3 of these things and game all the way across all of those, the fact that the bezel is so thin, it's going to make it really nice. But if you're going to mount them all on a monitor arm, you're going to want to have 3 of the same thing. And that's just the way it is. Now let's talk about this panel just a little bit. This is an AHVA panel. They say it's like IPS technology. The thing about AHVA panels, the blacks are really good. The contrast is way better, and the colors are just way better than a TN panel. So this is something that you can actually game on, or you can do some creativity on. You can edit on this monitor. The colors are decent enough. I mean, it's not like some of these monitors with the 20 millisecond response time that are specifically designed for editing, but it's good enough for 99% of the people out there to be able to, you know, do creativity editing, photo editing and whatever, and get an accurate enough image out of this, but still at the same time, go over and play your games at up to 144 Hertz. So that's kind of where this monitor sits in. And the other thing about this is it's a very good price. So the company Pixio, they've done everything they can to cut out as many middlemen as possible so that they can keep the price low. And that's really where this fits in. It's a, you know, premium gaming monitor with a really low price point compared to others with similar specs. So it's going to be hard to find something that's this quality at this price range. You're going to be spending $500-600. Above and beyond all that, we do have a 1000-to-1 contrast ratio. They say it's an anti-glare screen. It's basically a matte screen, which is exactly what I want for gaming. Got your 178-degree viewing angle on this. We have some different modes. You've got gaming mode, and you also have a crosshair that you can put on the screen. So if you're playing a game that doesn't have a crosshair, or you want to do a hardware crosshair or something like that, you can do that. Turn it on in the options. Now the other thing a lot of you guys are going to worry about is like input lag. You don't want any latency on that because it'll really ruin the experience for a gaming monitor. Now, traditionally the best input lag are the monitors that have like almost no electronics other than just one plug. You plug in your cable, no other plugs. They just basically straight communicate with the panel. And this one is about as close as you can get to that. It only adds a couple of milliseconds depending on the port you use, but the input lag is virtually non-existent on this compared to just plugging straight into the panel. So nothing to worry about there. My one gripe with this is the stand is nice. It's got a minimal footprint, but you don't have, I mean, you can lean it forward, you can lean it back, and it doesn't really have, you don't really have a lot of options here. It doesn't swivel, doesn't pivot, so you can just tilt it and that's all you can basically do. The rest of the stuff, it's, yeah. You have to mount this thing onto a monitor arm, which is going to add to your overall expense. If you're okay just throwing this thing on your desk and you're done with it and you don't need to tilt or anything like that, you can't run it vertically. No one's really going to be doing that with this. It's a gaming monitor. But that's the main limitation, is that the stand doesn't have many options. I wish you could raise it or lower it. That would be really cool, but that would also add more onto the price. So I'm going to end up putting like a book underneath this thing because I like it to be directly eye level, but I like my desk to be, you know, right angle for my hands. So in order to get it eye level, I needed to go up a little bit higher. So that's my one complaint, is I think the stand, if they did a version with a stand that would allow me to go up and down for 30 bucks more, I'd be like, sold, because now I don't have to stack a bunch of books on my desk or anything like that. Otherwise, guys, this is the best 1440p gaming monitor I've seen in this price range. And if FreeSync is something you're into, and if you like these specs, I mean, the last thing I'll mention is the actual monitor itself uses the M270 DAN 2.3 panel. If you guys are panel junkies, you can check that out. I believe it's a Korean panel. But yeah, these guys use really good panels, put them in good housing, and give you guys a good price. That's really the idea here. So again, that's the Pixio PX277. Guys, grab a t-shirt while you're on the store. The shirt of the month is probably my favorite shirt of the month we've done. So check that action out. Get in on that action. Some other things about action. Go play some games. We'll see you later.